This is the dawn of a new era in British karting. Over 550 drivers in 12 classes competing for victory over 18 race weekends. This is the Motorsport UK British Kart Championships. Everyone is still desperate to end the dominant streak of Kai Hunter. One man who might achieve it is Matthew Higgins, who'll be hoping that the home advantage will give him his best chance yet of a win in a final in 2019.
It's not been the greatest start. We've had a few mechanical issues and wrong setup choices which have cost us in the second final. We just got to make sure we got the perfect setup on all time. The setup's going to be critical, but I've got to work on my fitness and make sure I can keep focused throughout the races. And first, the main goal, as everywhere, but we'll settle for a top three as we haven't had the best first heat. I'm hoping that it's my local track that I can use it to my advantage and hopefully push for the win.
The Junior Rotax final about to begin. Kai Hunter set to make it 8 straight final victories. If he can hold on to it from Tom Adams, then Will Ellswood and Matthew Higgins, Will Jenkins and Harry Newman-Oakley, James Crossley and Ryan Taylor-Truman on row 4 from Ed Matthews and Taylor Babbs, with the likes of Casey, Collins, Stedman and Egby close in behind. And there's going to be a further 20 drivers behind that. 15 minutes on the clock. And let's race at Glan Park. Up the Dragon Straight we go straight away. It looks as though Kai Hunter's going to have to do some work if he wants to win this one. He's not going to dominate it, certainly in the early stages. He's already dropped back into third position. That's Tom Adams through, and I'm fairly sure that's Matthew Higgins who's gone up into second position as well. So they charge their way through on the first lap. Matthew Higgins running well on home soil, and he is one of the favourites to potentially lift a victory here in this second final. And having already got through, oh my goodness, there's about 6 or 7 of them off the road. That is Kieran Kay, who's gone off, so too the 33 of Josh Poulain, and there's about 3 others who have all come off the circuit there in together. So that is a very nasty end to the race for several competitors. Looks like Miles Barthorpe is in that. Let's have a look at it again. Oscar Hall's involved. Oh my goodness, that really has caused a major roadblock. So Barthorpe in trouble, Oscar Hall out, so too Mackenzie Cresswell and Tiernan Rourke. That is 73. Kieran Kay for Persistence Motorsport trying to get away. And there's 2 or 3 more trying to get back into the hunt, albeit quite a long way down the order now as a result. So Kieran Kay and Josh Poulain both trying to rejoin, but I think they're going to be a lap down by the end of the race for whatever reason, if they can keep it going. But Tom Adams is your leader at the moment, in front of the 75 of Higgins. Then it's Hunter, Ellswood, Jenkins and Newman-Oakley from the 65 of Ryan Taylor-Truman. And then it is Taylor Babbs in front of the 58 of Edward Matthews. And then in 10th position for the moment it is the 42. That is James Crossley. So up Dragon Straight, and as you can see, Tom Adams is threatening to get away and hide already. Matthew Higgins was in third position behind Hunter, who had got him, but now Kai Hunter's been a little overzealous. Higgins, Ellswood and Will Jenkins have all got through, so Kai Hunter's actually down to 5th. He's won all 7 of this year's finals. This is the 8th, and he is hoping to keep that hot streak going. If he's going to do it, he's really going to have to pull his socks up. But this man, Tom Adams, has already got a second over the rest of the field, and we're only on lap 3, about to finish it. So this is going beautifully for Tom Adams, the Coles Racing driver out in front, and it looks like there's a bit of a melee coming out of the final corner. Drivers trying to make a move or two. Newman-Oakley's got through, so too Taylor-Truman, then Babbs, Matthews, Kai Hunter down to 9th as a result of his latest problem. So this might finally be the undoing of Kai Hunter. He's been dominant all season long as Tom Adams continues to stretch out the lead. It's now 1.3 over Higgins and Ellswood. Jenkins in 4th from Newman-Oakley, I should say, the 86. Then Taylor-Truman, Babbs, Matthews, Hunter. The 62 is next up. That's Jack Stedman. And then it's Ben Casey from Will Egby and the 42 in there next. That, of course, is James Crossley, who's not had the greatest of starts. In fact, it's getting worse because now he's lost out to Brodie Trehorn, to the 36 of Jensen Watts. And then that looks to me as though also through is Max Edmondson. Yes, he's got through as well. And then we've got the 80 trying to make up progress in the middle of the pack as well. Now that is the 80 of Hugh Lawrenson. And then we've got Harrison Collins and Machi Hamera trying to break through. So for the moment, that's as far amount of positions as they're going to lose, but a very tricky start to the race for some. Tom Adams, though, is sprinting away, but look at this train that's building. Higgins, Ellswood, Jenkins, Newman Oakley, Taylor Truman, Babs, Matthews, Kai Hunter, and then 6/10 back is the next queue, led by, well, that is going to be led by Jack Steadman, isn't it? The Project One, there he is, still in position. And then we've got Casey and Egby with 7/10 back, Brody Trahorn. Tom Adams is absolutely loving this as he charges out in front. No issues at all for him. As they come up the Dragon Straight, still Higgins in second position in front of Will Ellswood. But there's not a lot that the Persistence Motorsport driver can do. As a big dive up the inside in the middle of that chasing pack. That is a big lunge. I think that was Kai Hunter making the move on Matthews to get back into 8th position. So he's definitely working his magic to try and move further forward, but it's not so easy when you've got a whole train of karts to overtake. And there is still a really tight gaggle of competitors as they work their way through. In fact, that was actually Taylor Babs a little way in front of Kai Hunter, making the move on Ryan Taylor Truman. So across the line comes that battle of second place, and the gap, would you believe, as Ellswood gets into second place in the Persistence, is up to 3 seconds. So Will Ellswood now in second place, giving a massive push is Jenkins in 4th position. He's trying to get through into the top 3, and Higgins gets back through in a second on Ellswood. Will Jenkins has to hang fire for the moment. So that gap is increasing. Look at how big Tom Adams' advantage is in front of the rest of the field as Kai Hunter makes the move on Matthews. So that's Kai Hunter back into 8th position. You can see him on the Dan Holland racing machine as he tries to cut his way back through the field. But here is the battle for second place. Higgins, Ellswood, Jenkins, Newman Oakley, Babs, Taylor Truman, Hunter, Matthews. And then it is Jack Steadman, Ben Casey and Will Egby with a little bit of a breathing space back to out of the inside. That is going to be the move from Higgins. He gets the move back on Ellswood as they go up the Dragon Straight. And there's still a little bit of jockeying for position. So Higgins is through in his second place. Ellswood down to 4th, I think, behind Will Jenkins. So Higgins is now through, but Ellswood trying to stay in front. But has only dropped to 4th position, so that could have gone a lot worse. Adams is up in the compression complex, while the rest of the field is just leaving the carousel. Goodness me, this is only lap 8, and he's absolutely streaking away. And the gap with this battle now shaping up for second place is up to 4.5 seconds. So I don't see Kai Hunter grabbing this lead back again. I think his successful run of dominance is about to come to an end. But he still has a huge advantage in the Drivers' Championship, of course. The fans are still willing them on at the side of the circuit. Will Jenkins now in second place. He's trying to get away from Ellswood and Higgins. So a brilliant bit of driving from Will Jenkins, as he now stretches out the gap out of the left-hand kink and down Damon Hill into the carousel. So we're going to see some really exciting tussles between the drivers as they get back on turns up the hill. Oh, bit of a moment there from Higgins, trying to get himself back into position. I think he lost a bit of ground there. So Higgins sliding slightly sideways. But this is a really intense battle between the competitors now as they continue to surge their way forwards in the middle of the gaggle. Taylor Babs up into 5th position now as he has made ground, and it looks as though there's another couple of positions being made. They come up Dragon Straight once again, but it's Adams now leading by nearly 5 seconds to Will Jenkins. Then Ellswood is a second back. Higgins, Babs, Newman Oakley and Ryan Taylor Truman are all in the hunt. But this is a terrific little squabble now. Down the hill once again and into the left-hander as Taylor Adams is already in the 3rd apex of the compression complex. Jenkins is now starting to stretch away from this gaggle of karts behind, but he's really oh, there was contact there in the middle of the second compression. Now, is there enough room? Yes, who's that's gone all the way down down the order? I think that is Jack Steadman, who has lost a massive quantity of positions. We'll double check as they come through, but certainly 1 or 2 drivers going slightly wide, and one of them's gone right off the circuit. In fact, it's Will Egby who went off. So Will Egby's gone down the order. That is a real shame, as he was battling there in position. And that is a big lunge for 6th position. That is Ryan Taylor Truman versus Harry Newman Oakley as they battle away for the top 6 positions. And they go through the carousel. And it is for the moment, I think that is Harry Newman Oakley. He's just about hung on to it in front of Ryan Taylor Truman. More contact in the middle of the field as drivers are bouncing around, trying not to get spat out onto the grass. As they tiptoe their way through to the compression complex, it's a warning flag for Matthews, as we were just watching the E-plate there. No, sorry, that is not the E-plate, my apologies. That is the 5 we watched going through the shot just a moment ago of Kai Hunter as he battles his way further forward. truly terrific run up at the front end of the field. Kai Hunter now in the battle with Ben Casey, and the 36 in that mix there as well. That is Jensen Watts as he tries to make progress through the field. But for some reason, the 92 is coming up as the leader on the timing screen. That's Chaz Heighton. Not entirely sure why, because it's Adams who still has about 4.6 on Will Jenkins. Interestingly, though, Jenkins is starting to close in on Adams a little bit. So Ellswood's there in third from Babs. Higgins has now dropped a second back as a result of that little squabble on the outskirts of the top six. So that's given Ellswood and Babs some breathing space. Here they are. Ellswood in front of Taylor and Babs. Then Matthew Higgins, the Welshman, on home soil, is there in fifth position. Here comes Taylor Babs up the inside of Ellswood on the run to the spoon curve. Has he got through to the inside line, though, Taylor Babs on the Vision Motorsport machine? Looks to be as though he's managed to make it stick. Yes, indeed, into third position. So, a very exciting battle then in the offing, as we have now just under 6 minutes remaining of this final. And still a good tussle all the way through. Adams from Jenkins, Babs. Then it is Ellswood in front of Higgins, Newman Oakley and Ben Casey. Guy Hunter all the way down in 8th position from Ryan Taylor, Truman and Jensen Watts. Then Ed Matthews, 42, is the very, very talented youngster pushing his way through. James Crossley. And then we've got Harrison Collins in front of Jack Steadman. And then it's Max Edmondson still trying to charge his way through, the privateer, in front of Hugh Lawrenson, Machi Hamera, Brody Trehorn. The 91 is next up in the mix. Now that is Jack Meakin. And then, of course, we have the 45 in there next. And that is a very tough battle in the middle pack that we're watching. William Walker, having charged his way through from 31st on the starting grid, is now up to 20th in there with the 23 in the mix there in the battle. That's Ben Hearsey. And then Chaz Heighton is in 22nd for the moment, but still a really tough battle from the front of the field to the back. There goes Adams through, and there's Jenkins pulling away from Taylor Babs. He's now got Will Ellswood in fourth position, and then it is Matthew Higgins in front of Harry Newman Oakley. Kai Hunter up to 7th, having got past Ben Casey, and at the same time Jensen Watts has made the move on Ryan Taylor Truman. There they go, flying through the shot as they battle away for position in 9th and 10th. But Kai Hunter sets a new fastest lap of the race as James Crossley actually gets a warning flag or something on the racetrack. Well, he's dropped down the order, so I can only assume that he has been in an incident with somebody else, and that's dropped him out of the top 20. So big problems there, but the gap has come down a little between Taylor Adams and the race leader Will Jenkins to 4.5 seconds. You're currently watching the battle for 11th. That's Matthews, Collins and Steadman, with Max Edmondson trying to charge up behind. There goes Taylor Babs. Having got into third position, he's now extended about half a second over Will Ellswood. And then Matthew Higgins from Harry Newman Oakley, Kai Hunter, Ben Casey, Jensen Watts, Ryan Taylor Truman in 10th position. So all of that squabbling in the early stages has really started to separate a little bit more now. I think I saw the Kart Republic chassis of Oscar Houle just going through as he battles away for position. The 85, the DSM. Oh, as Kai Hunter comes around the outside trying to battle away for position. Goodness me, that was tight with him and Matthew Higgins. Harry Newman Oakley in that mix as well, of course. The three of them dueling away for 5th position. I'd like to have seen where Kai Hunter ended up. Well, he's had to settle for 7th place still, because Higgins and Newman Oakley are still in front of him. There's Taylor Babs in 3rd, Ellswood in 4th, and then we've got the chasing pack. So Adams is your leader and still has about 4.5 seconds on Will Jenkins. But with Newman Oakley making his way past Matthew Higgins, it's going to be a really exciting battle as they continue to push further forward. That's Kai Hunter now with a warning flag. So Kai Hunter in some difficulty, and that's a real contrast to positions we've seen in the last 3 finals that have been televised. Kai Hunter's been the man on top form, and this time here at Glan Gors, he's got absolutely no luck at all. He's tumbled his way down to the bottom brink of the top 10. Now he's in 7th place. Make it 6th now. He's finally managed to get past Matthew Higgins. So Adams is your leader from Jenkins, Babs, Ellswood, Newman Oakley and Kai Hunter now in 6th position. There he is. Not only has he got past Matthew Higgins, but he's actually managed to pull a couple of tenths of a second on him. So that's an important moment in the race. Side by side, 3 into 1's not going to go very easily. Oh, they sorted that one out just about. That was very tough. Oh no, there's contact between them. So on the exit, there was a bit of a fisticuffs there. That was Ben Casey getting in the mix there. Let's have another look. Over the top of the wheel. And that's 2 of them. He actually gets spat out over the top, Ben Casey for KR Sport. So he's dropped down the order as a result of all of that. So Ben Casey's out of position, and I think it was actually Matthew Higgins he tagged with, although Jensen Watts was in that little mixture of drivers as well, so we'll have to wait until they come through. But it's a very tricky situation now as several drivers in the mix are down the order. So a big problem there in the mid-pack. It got a little bit too close for comfort, unfortunately, but that really did cause problems for Ben Casey. And I think the driver who was involved with that one with him was actually looking through the field at the drivers who have gone down the order. Matthew Higgins, so yes, they have both dropped down the order. But it's Ben Casey who's come off worse. Matthew Higgins is down in about 20th as a result of all of that. So with just over a minute to go, and obviously they've got the time plus the additional bonus lap. Adams is being caught by Jenkins, but the problem is not fast enough for Will Jenkins to take full advantage of it. He needs to keep pushing, but he's not going to get really what he wants from it. Now, that incident between Ben Casey and I think that incident between Ben Casey and Matthew Higgins is going to cause a massive problem, particularly for Casey. He may have a front fairing penalty coming his way, because that was a very nasty incident, and in terms of having a bit of a problem, he's definitely going to have one now. Adams is leading. Jenkins, the gap is now less than 4 seconds. He's really been pushing it these last couple of laps. Guy Hunter now makes the move up into 6th position past Jenson Watts. That incident between Casey and Higgins, though, has promoted the 36 of Jenson Watts up into 7th place. Then Ryan Taylor-Truman's now 8th. Crossley is in 9th place, and up to 10th comes Matthews as we watch Will Jenkins going through, then Taylor Babs and Will Ellswood. These two now battling. Harry Newman-Oakley and Kai Hunter. They have well and truly left the 7th place battle a couple of seconds down the road now as Kai Hunter sets off down the hill after Harry Newman-Oakley, and I think he's going to try and make the move into the carousel. Well, watch as they come through. No, not quite, but he's going to try and set up an opportunity into the compression complex as we run down to 0 on the timing screen. So Adams is going to start the 22nd and final lap of this final, and there's no chance for my money that Kai Hunter is going to get the victory unless something absolutely stupendous happens in this last lap. It is Glan Park, so I have seen stupendous here before in the closing stages. Just not going to be practical as up the inside here comes Kai Hunter. Oh, well defended by Harry Newman-Oakley, and now diving up the inside Taylor-Truman, having a look at Jenson Watts with James Crossley riding behind as the last few moments of the race are going to come upon us. But Tom Adams is going to do something that every junior Rotax driver has been trying to do all season long, which is wipe Kai Hunter from the top step of the podium. He won every single final up to this point, but he won't win this one because Tom Adams is out of the final turn and he sees the checkered flag. Tom Adams is your race winner. Brilliant performance in front of Will Jenkins, a stunning 2nd place, his best result of the season. Taylor Babs in a fantastic 3rd as well in front of Ellswood. Newman-Oakley comes home 5th. Kai Hunter has to be content with 6th in front of Jenson Watts, Ryan Taylor-Truman, James Crossley and Harrison Collins. And despite the early shenanigans, I think all 10 of them are going to be able to keep their places. I can't see any of them around the circuit looking like they've got a front fairing loose. I think we're going to be okay in the top 10. So Tom Adams has taken a crucial victory away from his title rival. So big points gained then for Tom Adams in the hunt for the British Championship. But will he beat Kai Hunter to the title? That's another question. Adams wins from Jenkins, then Taylor Babs and William Ellswood, Harry Newman-Oakley and Kai Hunter, then Jenson Watts and Ryan Taylor-Truman from James Crossley and Harrison Collins. Outside the top 10, it's Ed Matthews in front of Jack Steadman. Brodie Trahorn crosses the line next up in 13th in front of Max Edmondson and Hugh Lawrenson. And then Jack Meakin is next up from Ben Casey, although it looks to me as though he's going to get a front fairing penalty. Machi Hamera, William Walker might suffer the same fate, and Matthew Higgins looks likely he could be promoted up the order. Fantastic racing, a real shame for Miles Barthorpe, Oscar Hull, Mackenzie Cresswell and Tiernan Rourke. None of them make the finish, but your race winner is Tom Adams in front of Will Jenkins and Taylor Babs. So Tom Adams becomes the first man to beat Kai Hunter in a final this season. And with William Jenkins and Taylor Babs forcing him completely off the podium, it's all smiles in Junior Rotax at GYG.
It wasn't a great quality at all. We got out at the wrong time, we had mechanical issues as well, which didn't help. And then we went from 23rd in final 1 to 10th, and then we went from 10th to 3rd in final 2. As we were going through the pack, that sort of mid to front pack was definitely bunching up, which was making it more of a problem to get through, but I just managed to get through and get a break, and then managed to get 3rd in the end.
Yeah, it was a long final. He kept looking at the clock and there was still a long time left. We obviously, once we managed to get clear of the pack behind, he was just focusing on keep doing what we were doing and see what we could do with Tom, but obviously he was a long way in front.
First lap they were quite close behind, but then they were a bit of a battle and I just managed to get a big gap and kept on going. It feels good to finally win and be on the podium final too, because it's the first one this year, so hopefully we can keep on going. And I'd just like to thank my brother Mike, Coles Racing, my family and Ogden for the waft.